cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers. It is Monday morning, the week of the NCAA tourney. Very exciting week, packed with sports. And this is sort of the calm before the storm. No NCAA basketball today, although Drew Martin will be joining us near the end of the show to give us some first looks at this bracket, some first feels on this bracket. I know everybody wants to talk about it, and we will be talking about it. We got 4 NHL games ready to crack. We have 9 NBA games ready to lock down. First off, let's give a big shout out to all the cappers in the chat. We got Paulo Marquez in the house. Great hustle. First in the chat, we have Joe Rich Ramirez. Man, did I look bad on that under in Harvard, Yale. Oh, God, that hurt my Sunday morning. Vinny Cornell in the house. We got Jansen, Bonson, ready to rock. Flipper 13, Rosie, J93, Dan Kelly, Jim Foray, Drew Daddy, Serious Business, Steven Dollery, Jorge Don't Play, Steve Cordero, Ron Fig, Top Set, Mickey Cohen, Alex Gagnon, Mally Mal in the house, Tom Marino, Tom Moore. Dan Kelly says, Jimmy, it sounds like you're getting healthier every day, so take some time off. Yeah, I am getting by the smallest of margins, but still can't laugh and can't do a lot of things that I would like to be doing with my lungs. But yes, Dan, getting a little bit better every single day. Bleds W, Sean McCarthy, Leroy Flood, Matt Collin. What a great group. DJ Big Boss in the house. Jake Bell, Dad Fenn, FSU, Chatfield, On Point, Wagers, Carlos Baroche, Daniel Hernandez. What a great group. TM. All right, let's get to work. Brian Watson in the house. YGRF Thrills says Long Island is in attendance. Long Island, Strong Island in attendance. We got Mr. Gokster. Okay, well, let's get right to work. We got Red Girl in the house, NSK Sports. King Rail, beautiful King Rail joining us. King, I need help on this Monday basketball card. I know you're so busy, but if you got any time on to pop on the afternoon show, I would absolutely love that, because I don't have an NBA expert on this show, on the late show today. Nasty Nate in the house, Yo-Yo Street. All right, let's get to work, shall we? I know we could review a lot, but the more time we have to cap these games, the better. And also, records will be coming back out this week, finally, because the main thing about our show is transparency, honesty, whether or not it keeps you horrifyingly up all night and unable to sleep like Major League Baseball did, or you have glorious records like NHL's been for us the last couple of years. Regardless, they're going to be present and rocking and rolling. And there's been a bit of a break, so I'm excited to have records back. We need the records. Also, it just helps give you confidence when you speak about a sport. Not only with my records, I can only have confidence in NHL and NBA, as well as horse racing. At least horse racing, we have nice records. Nasty Nate, Steve Cordero says UNC all the way. We got Cole Coleon in the house. It's beautiful. Christopher Hogan ready to rock. Let's get to work. Mally Mouse says Raptors missing too many guys. I think there's lots of. I have made one bet. I've made one bet in the association. I already jumped on the under in the Spurs Warriors game. That was just too simple to me. I mean, the Spurs have been succeeding, slowing the pace down. Their point defense has been the best in the NBA over their winning streak. They do not want to get in a shooting competition with the Warriors. And Durant back. Also, Durant back. These guys don't come back and shoot 12 for 13 from the field. They come back and struggle, just like Paul George did. I know Paul George was a shoulder injury. Durant's an ankle injury. It's apples and oranges. We'll get into that. All right, let's get to work right now. Mr. Ghost says, I wish they would run more racetracks on Monday. Man, that was my thing in Toronto, because I was a comic, so I worked on the weekends, but I would have these Mondays off, and so I would have to go to Finger Lakes to get my drink on, and I would, or Prec Isle, these C tracks. But whatever you can do to bet on the horses. Okay. Remo says only confirmed goalie so far today is Vasilevsky. Lamont Williams in the house. This is great. Okay, let's get to work. Coyotes, Lightning, and let's hammer this NHL card. I had a bad Friday, and a poor weekend overall. So I got myself back up to positive to the black on the month of March, and I threw that all away Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I need a big week here, and I need to start strong right now. Let's talk Coyotes, Lightning. Mally Mal says, I'm on the Bolts for sure. Thank God. And Mr. Ghost says, Prec Isle is, sadly, you're going to have to hammer Prec Isle today if you want to hit the punts. All right, let's get to work here. Now, They say Darcy Kemper's going to be in goal, and maybe he is. Maybe they're going to go back-to-back with him. But I guess if you want to back the Coyotes, I would wait to find out. If you want to fade the Coyotes, Calvin Pickard could be announced in goal. Now, the more I think about it, they'll probably go back-to-back with Kemper because their season's on the line here. But they're going to need Kemper ready to go throughout this stretch drive, these last 10 games. So I'm not entirely sure. Gabe Pasky said, Jimmy, you did stand-up in the Toronto area. Yeah, I did stand-up all over North America and Europe and Asia. I lived in, I started my career in Vancouver, lived in LA for 4 years, lived in Toronto for a few years, all over the place, really. But not doing it anymore, and I like being here with you guys a little bit more than touring these shithole towns that I was shitting and performing in. Okay, let's get to work here. Richie Rich. Now, Richie Rich did send me a tweet, and I didn't get enough time to work on it, but says, no way I'm taking Tampa Bay here. Arizona, 4+ at 1.5, plus 1.5, and minus 1.5. 85% public on Tampa Bay. Tom Marino says, not a good spot for Tampa off the big win against Washington. I'm not betting against Tampa, though. See, Tom Marino has more of my mindset, really, than Richie Rich. Now, I do not know how the Coyotes are doing it. Let's break it down a little more. We know that Vasilevsky is going to be in goal. Let's look at this Coyotes team. 28th in goals per game at 2.65. 9th in goals allowed, 2.76. Second penalty killing, 85.3%. That's Rick Tocchet doing just a hell of a job. 20th ranked power play. Look at these lineups. So now they've dealt with injuries all season long and done a great job with it. Now, Christian Dvorak, who missed the first, 60 games of the year, has come back, and he's taken over the number one line spot with Derek Stepanov. So he's centering that number one line, Clayton Keller, Richard Panik on his wings. Somehow, Brad Richardson has taken over the second line spot. And I know he had that 4-goal game, but this guy is a journeyman player who's available every summer for any team who wants to give him the minimum. He's on a line with Vinny Hinostroza and Michael Grabner. I know he doesn't play on the power play, and I know he's an accountable forward, but how he could be playing that much is beyond me. Alex Galchenyuk has been moved to the third-line left winger because Galchenyuk will let you down 5-on-5 all the time, but he is the first-line center on the power play unit. How are they doing it? Well, Kemper's playing very well. Also, their defense is strong, and we've said it for 2 years. Ekman Larson, Halmerson are a nice top pair. Demers, Goligoski are a nice second unit. But those guys, Ekman Larson, Halmerson, and Goligoski are really good defensemen. So, can you trust this Coyotes team to take care of business here? Now, Richie Rich says they've handled the Lightning constantly, and they beat them 7-1 on October 27th, but that was Louis Dominguez's first game against his old team. He shat the bed. And speaking of shit the bed, not applicable, before I make my plays, I got to know who you're going to pick to shit the bed, because you are now 9-4 on the shit the bed play. Unbelievable. Let's keep rolling along. Mal says Yotes ain't beating Tampa at home. Let's go, Monty. Lil J says Tampa Bay almost stay away rest of the year, got everything clinched, but can still win any game if they want. Pretty much a team I've decided to be careful with. That's smart. Arizona minus 1.5 would be a nice payout, though. But remember, this is a Coyotes team that is on the second half of a back-to-back, and that's dangerous. So they lose 3-2 in overtime last night at home to the Oilers, so they just flew from Phoenix to Tampa. It's not too long of a flight, but I feel like this is extremely, extremely tough, extremely, extremely dangerous. Jeff Joseph says, Jimmy, come up to TO next month for the opening at Woodbine. There is some discussions about that, Jeff. There have been some discussions about that, but we'll talk. Richie Rich says, Tampa Bay is giving up tons of goals on D at Arizona team total over. See, now, Richie Rich, now we're talking. I think I like that play rather than taking the Coyotes alone. Now, that means if you think that they're going to hit the team total over, that means the over should be in action. Right now, Tampa Bay's minus 260. It stayed there. And let's take a look at what the total is right now. Wow, I did not know that, Big Boss. Wow, because I heard about that 20-second fatality, and it's just heartbreaking. It's at 6.5. Now, I'm not going to take a 6.5. It's at plus money. This is a tough spot. Lightning coming off that 6-3 win at home over the Washington Capitals on Saturday night. That was a huge victory. Now they've established new franchise records, wins, points, 4 straight wins, 6-7. Adam Lastman says Tampa wins by 2. I don't know. I tell you what, when I look at this Coyotes lineup, how are they doing it? It's smoke and mirrors. It's great coaching. It's great defense, very good goaltending. I don't know. I just can't back it. I can't back it, and I'm not going to back it. Coyotes Lightning, I'm staying off at this point. If you wanted the -1.5, it's not. I mean, now we got the -1.5 with the Flames on Friday, but the Flames still have so much to play for, and Tampa has nothing to play for. You're getting a +100, -105. Mr. Gokser says Kemper will get tired, in my opinion, going to the later part of the season. Absolutely. Jin Rummy says got 5.71 goals projected for Tampa game. Good luck. Yeah, I wouldn't. And under 6.5 says Remos. You know, the under is a play I'd find much, much more appealing. And getting a 6.5. Who is on the over? Oh, over is 4-1 their last 5. But this is a different situation where the Coyotes know they can't run and gun with the Lightning. But are the Lightning going to be strong enough defensively? Mally Mouse says -105. Great odds. You know, it was great odds for the Flames in a similar situation. So I have to hear that. Jeff Joe says, amazing to me. Would love to have you and all the low baggers up here in the 6. Yeah, Jeff, we're talking about it. So I'll be in touch with you for sure. But there is talk about a visit up there in April. So all that said and done, Enid Monet says, first period over. I get that. Mr. Ghoster said, Jimmy Tampa Bay called up strong D-man who's scoring like crazy in Syracuse. That doesn't really... I think that the play would be, for me, would be towards the under. And I'm going to need a little bit more time to make that decision. But that's how I mean, this Coyotes team is going to be tired. They're going to have to play very defensively responsible. I just don't see it being a really, really high-scoring game. Let's take another look at this. And I mean, I don't want to go heads up against Richie Rich, but I mean, if you're the Coyotes, there's only one way to play this game, and that's as tight as possible. Now, I'm going to have to wait until Kemper's announced. So how about that? If I come back to the late show and Kemper is the goaltender and it's not Pickard, then I'll take it. But if Pickard is announced, then I can't take the bet. So I would like to take the under, and I will as soon as Kemper's announced. All right, let's move on to the next game. Canucks at Blackhawks. Here is a play I am taking. I know I've been fading my hometown Canucks and not succeeding in it. Lamont Williams said, Jimmy, I don't care. I'm taking Tampa Bay solo over and full game over. Hey, Lamont, you know, I get it. I get it. Kate Pasky says, Arizona are very well coached, but it doesn't matter. Tampa is just in a different stratosphere. Don't kid yourself. They want to dominate every game for the rest of the season. Don't want to pick up bad habits. There's a lot of truth in that. And Richie Rich says, Arizona +1.5, -115. Yeah. You know, this is a tough spot. And if I was going to take anything, I'd take the under 6.5, and I may come the late show. But here's a play I am taking right now. I'm taking the Chicago Blackhawks -1.5. I'm getting a +125 here at 5 times. You know, it's not enough, man. I was wishing I could get a little more than that. Was it ever higher? No, it wasn't. It's actually getting better. I am still going to take it. And I know that they're a tough team to trust. Young Suave says, I'm taking Tampa Bay, Jimmy. Okay. I feel you, Young Suave. I feel you, man. I feel you. And they're going to be a nice team to back come playoff time, but do you want to back them when they have nothing to play for? I get it. And Mouse is Tampa to the death. You know, I hear you guys. I'm going to take the Blackhawks -1.5, but is +125 enough risk reward? That's available at Heritage. Tomio says Blackhawks are a good team to bet as a dog, but their defense isn't consistent. Well, I'll tell you exactly why I'm fading this Canucks team here down the stretch. And the Canucks do show a lot of heart. But I will back the Blackhawks. I will take a -1.5 at +125 at Heritage. I was hoping to get more than that, but I will take it. Let's break down why. First off, Corey Crawford's playing spectacularly well. Blackhawks coming off their 5th straight win, 2-0 Montreal on Saturday night. These are must-win games for this club. Corey Crawford's been spectacular. 48 saves in the shutout. During the 5-game winning streak, he stopped 150 of 157 shots. That's a .955 save percentage. The Canucks are on the second half of a back-to-back after a 3-2 shootout win over the Dallas Stars on Sunday. Second victory in their past 3 games, but only their 4th in the past 13 games. Richie Rich says Chicago -1.5, but I see it, but 85% public yuck. That screams a ton of goals. I feel that. Mr. Gokster says the Canuck Lions. Well, let's talk about these Canuck Lions right now. So Vancouver is now going to have to play the rest of the season without Chris Tanev. Season-ending foot injury last night. That was on Saturday against the Devils, Palmieri. So I've talked so much about Edler, and I would have to go through every single game to give you the stats of what this team is like with Edler in the lineup, out of lineup. But if you were watching on Saturday night, they explain what their record is with Tanev and Edler both in the lineup. And with Tanev and Edler both in the lineup, the Canucks are 21-14-5. And when they're out, they're 8-18-5. That's the difference between a playoff team and a lottery draft. Ben Hutton also out with a foot injury. He hasn't played since March 3rd. There's just too many injuries here. Oh, no. Ralph Perwano says, Jimmy, totals alert. Warriors over 224. Oh, God, I hate hearing that. Oh, no, I'm already on the under. I hate hearing that, Ralph. I get it. Oh, no, that scares me. I do not do well when I go up against my man, Ralph Perwano. Kobe Valentine coming in saying, I actually lean Coyotes money line. Not sure Tampa Bay is a big motivation factor for this game. Yotes are hungry, and Tampa Bay can't really change the standings. Seems like a letdown spot. And one thing I would do is I wouldn't take them plus 1.5. I don't know why you turn a big dog into a favorite. I wouldn't do that. If you go for a score, just go for a score. Tomer says Tampa Bay has another big game against Washington coming up. I hear what you guys are saying. Ty Clinton says I like the under, Ralph. Well, that makes me feel a little better, Ty. Thank you for saying that. Now, they just have too many injuries on defense. Crawford is playing too well. The Canucks got to be tired. The Canucks roster is weak. The Blackhawks are rolling. Perlini's playing great. Kane's playing spectacularly well. Corey Crawford standing on his head. All said and done, I'm on the Blackhawks minus 1.5. Mr. Ghost says everyone hated them after firing Quenneville, but these vets are playing unreal. Kane, Taves, Keith, Seabrook, leading these youngsters like the Brinkat, Strom, and Murphy yet. No doubt. And I'm taking them minus 1.5 plus 125 here. Okay, let's keep rolling along. And Samuel Martin saying under 2. Okay, that makes me feel better, but don't like to be on the other side of Ralph. Let's talk Jets Kings. Now, I've got Hellebuck versus Quick. There could be some... that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be in goal, but Hellebuck is starting to play better hockey. Jets are coming off a big 2-1 win at home versus Calgary on Saturday night. They've won 2 in a row. They were coming off an 8-game stretch against teams currently in the playoffs. They went 5-3. Now they've had to adjust without Josh Morrissey and Dustin Byfuglien. And Morrissey is a spectacular defenseman. Not a lot of people know how good he is. He is very, very good. And they were also missing bottom pair defenseman Joe Morrow. So Morrissey's been out since February 24th. He's not expected back until next month. Byfuglien's been out since the middle of last month with an ankle injury. There's no timeline. My man Okeezy says he's jumping on Jets minus 1.5. That was a thought for me. But then I just, without these 3 defensemen, I'm a little hesitant. The Jets are completely healthy forward group, but their defensemen are hurt. The Kings are coming off 4-3 home loss to the Florida Panthers on Saturday afternoon. They've lost 15 of their last 17, but they're completely healthy. They've split the first 2 games. And Mr. Goxer says Kings are fade material till the season ends. I'm with Tomor. It just doesn't. That was an enormously important game against the Flames, and now they fly down to LA to start a road trip. That's not the type of situation you really want to back a team. But Okeezy says, love the Jets to win by 3. Tomarino says, Jets off 2 big home games. Looks like a flat spot against LA. This line looks inflated, but I'm not betting on the Kings. Same with me. I'm certainly not going to take the Kings. I understand that this is a Jets or nothing, but I don't think I'm going to make the move here with the Jets. And I was staring at the minus 1.5. I was looking at it all morning. Jets here, minus 1.5. You're getting a nice score. Plus 160 at 5 dimes, plus 150 at Bet Online. See what Heritage is offering. Heritage giving you, plus 155. It's a stay off spot for me. Rapper wants his Warriors 13-0 to the over after their opponent shoots less than 35% from the field. I hear that, Ralph. I just feel like Durant's not going to have a rhythm going. I expect, if he's in the lineup, which he's expected to. But we'll break down that game. Mally Mouse says Jets should smoke these bums after losing 4-1. Should, sure. But will? I don't know. Now, here's a spot I am taking. Jeff Joe says, agree, Jimmy. Could be a very flat spot for the Jets. I see a 3-2 Jets win here, and that's a hard thing to make money off of. Gate Pasky says, Jets are getting their confidence back and will continue to roll. Jets puck line, Helly's playing great. But Gate Pasky, how do you feel about not having Morrissey and Byfuglien in the lineup? I mean, their power play's not being as good. Their offense is, I'm off of it. But Lamont Williams is on it as well. And Pepper says, parlay alert, Jets puck line, Hawks puck line, Pels money line. Oh, wow. And Miami OKC under. I like that. Okay. Let's keep rolling around. Here's the spot I'm taking. I am taking the Sharks to bounce back here. I'm taking the Sharks to bounce back, play well. Mr. Goxer says, under Jimmy, it's at 6. Yeah, I guess I would be interested, but you've been watching these Kings team, and Babano was the first person to bring us onto that. They're just not playing well defensively. Quick's not playing well. They only have Alec Martinez, after Doughty. So it's not something I really want to jump on. But Brendan Tolan says he's playing the under. Bloods W says, Jimmy, do you trust Quick? I don't. I don't, but he doesn't have a great defense in front of him, and he's used to having one. Pepper says Kings can't contend with the Jets scoring. Dormio says West looks wide open. Nashville plus 600 looks like solid value. Sure, but and that's another thing for me that what I do is I make a lot of future bets early in the season, and then come playoff time, I don't make as many bets as I make in the regular season because I've got so much action on the line with my futures, and we'll go over all that as the season comes to an end. Okay, Ralph One says babysitting grandkids. Can't stay. Jazz -4, Portland -4, Boston -3, Warriors -2. I will copy and paste that. And Mr. Goxer says Doughty's washed up. I still believe in Doughty. I still believe in Doughty Goxer, but it's been a very trying season for him. Okay, let's keep rolling along here. We have one more NHL game, and then let's break down these NBA games. Sorry, all these notes. Okay, let's move on to this. So I like what Samuel Martin's doing. Sharks in regulation. I'm going to take it one step further, though. I'm going to take the Sharks -1.5. Richie Rich says, slam the hell out of San Jose here. Puck line all the way. This is the spot. I agree. And Pepper says, Doughty's absolutely not washed up. I agree with you, Pepper. Anthony S. says, Jimmy, which round do I start to hedge my San Jose 8-1 cup bet? Well, hopefully you don't have to. And, I've got them at 10-1. And I hope I have them at 15-1, too, when they were losing. I'll have to double check where I've got them at. But Anthony, yes, I'm with you. And at this point, hopefully you don't have to till the cup final. And even then we can be, we don't have to make one hedge. We can make some sort of, we can hedge as we go. Don't worry, we'll be talking all about that. So don't worry about that. Mr. Goxer says, I know some guys who told me he's lost his edge. Also being miserable guy the last 1 year, apparently. That's because he wants to be on a winning hockey team. Right? I mean, this guy cares very much. And it sucks being on a losing team. Oh, and we got a max bet here from Lamont Williams. I'm going to be copying and pasting it. Okay, let's go. I'm on Sharks -1.5. I'm with Richie Rich. First off, no Marc-Andre Fleury. If they go back-to-back with Subban, that's dangerous. I think they probably should go to Legacy. Who knows what they're going to do? But I'm going to back the Sharks -1.5 here. Sharks are coming off their second straight home loss, 4-2 against National Predators on Saturday night. They head into Monday night's home game with the Golden Knights just 1 point behind first place. Oh, sorry. The Sharks are just 1 point behind Calgary in the Pacific Division with 10 games remaining. Now, the Sharks have no Erik Karlsson, but they're going to wait to make sure he's healthy for the playoffs. Evander Kane returned to the lineup after missing games due to his wife suffering a miscarriage. That's another situation that this team can rally behind. And also, when things are going tough in life, it's important to be the first guy out on the ice. And I expect Evander Kane to be doing that right now and using hockey to get through this very tough time for his family. I expect Evander Kane to step up in a big way. I think this Sharks team is the class of the West, and we'll roll through the Western Conference now. But in saying that, the Vegas Knights are a very dangerous squad, and the Calgary Flames are a very dangerous squad. It's paramount to come first in the Pacific Division and let two of those teams knock each other out. Let's keep rolling here. Okay, sorry guys, let's keep rolling. Mally Mouse says Subban is guaranteed to give up goals tonight over. Great bet, San Jose, Vegas. Yeah, I don't dislike that over at all. Let's just take a quick look at what that is. Sorry, we got to get an NBA fast, so let's just spend one more minute on this. But 6.5's heavily juiced. Just not where I like to take care of business. And it's possible that the Sharks step up in a big way defensively. So, and I really think the Sharks are running all the way to the Stanley Cup final. And if they face the Lightning, it's going to be a very, very tough spot for them. All right, Vegas on the second half of a back-to-back after a 6-3 home victory over Edmonton. Vegas improved to 8-1-0 since Mark Stone's arrival. He had a goal and an assist. He's playing great. Fleury is rolling right now. So for him to be dealing with his lower body injury, it's just bad timing. He's not coming to San Jose. There's no way he'll be in the lineup. Vegas is also without depth forward William Carrier. And I'm in. I'm on this -1.5 on this Shark squad. And I'm getting a nice score here. Plus 155 is the best line that's available at Heritage. -1.5. Plus 155. So those are the spots I'm on right now. I'm on the Sharks -1.5 at plus 155. The Blackhawks -1.5 at plus 125. And I'm interested in the under 6.5 in Coyotes Lightning. And I will likely jump on it if I know that Kemper is going back-to-back. And that's our NHL card. There it is. Daryl Lyles says Vegas playing really well. 7 wins last day. I see a close game 3-2. I hear that. I just don't know if their goaltending is capable of that. And I really think this team comes together around Evander Kane right now. Mr. Gogan says Vegas San Jose over looks juicy. Daryl Lyle says, I'm on the under. I can understand that. And K. Pasquey says, Sharks should be ready after the loss to Nashville Sharks puck line. Well, when K. Pasquey and I roll together, we hit it at a very high rate. Let's keep rolling in. All right. Now we have the National Basketball Association, which has been a nice spot for us lately, although I did have a 2-4 day on Friday and take the weekend off after going 8-1 in my last night before that. So let's get back to our winning ways right now. Pistons, Cavs. Cavs are coming off their third straight loss, 121-116 at Dallas on Saturday night. They allowed the Mavericks to shoot 51.1% from the field. Colin Sexton is rolling, averaging 26.4 points, 3.3 assists in his past 5 games, 28 points, 4 assists, and no turnovers. Now, he's still not distributing the way they need him to, but no turnovers in 38 minutes against the Mavericks. That's a big, big, big deal. Troy V says, Yotes money line, Hawks over 6, Sharks puck line. Hey, that's going to pay big. I mean, if those single bets, they're still great. But shout out to my man, Troy V, great NHL capper. Rayhan Hyder says, Wizards don't play defense in the way Utah rebounds their opponent. Wizards are in trouble. Also, Utah's won 8 of the last 11 on Washington on a third game, 4-game nights. I like it too. I like that spot too, Rayhan. I like that too. So we'll break that down. Red Girl leaning Utah under full game and Suns under full game. Thank you for letting us know that, Red Girl. And Sean McCarthy said, let's get to NBA. Yes, Sean, let's do it. So let's take a closer look at this Pistons Cavs, because we know the Pistons have just had this Cavs team's number all year, man. They've destroyed this team in their 3 games so far. Sorry, let me get to NBA, SBRodds.com. Spreads and totals. Here we go. Let's get to work. Detroit, Cleveland. So the -6.5s are gone, and they're now -7s. This total's open at 215.5, now 212. The question is, shout out to Lucky Lefty in the house. The question is, do we trust this Pistons team on the road? I mean, they were a disaster just, 5-6 days ago. They still played good at home, but they were a disaster on the road. Do you trust them here against the Cavs? Kevin Love, questionable with a lower back contusion. That's important. If you're going to back the Cavs, you need to know that Kevin Love is there in the lineup. Larry Nance out, so it's going to be a ton of Marquise Chris and Ante Zizic. Tristan Thompson close to returning from his foot injury. He's been questionable. He could pop in this game. Dellavedova out with a concussion. Pistons are on the second half of a back-to-back after beating the Raptors 110-107 in Detroit last night. The last time they were on a similar back-to-back against it was against Brooklyn. I still thought Drummond was going to play well, and the Pistons should be fine. They didn't have anybody play over 30 minutes, and they got absolutely destroyed. Is this a team that you trust? Tom Marino says Cleveland has no home advantage. No one is going to their games. King Rail says Detroit rolling. I've been on this train, not jumping off. Yeah, I mean, but they've been rolling. They've been rolling for what, 6 days? They were hugely rolling before that, but that was a real ugly back-to-back road losses that we had to watch here. I could understand you backing them here, though. I could, absolutely, King. Griffin and Drummond have dominated the first 3 games of the series. Griffin's averaged 20.7, 9.7 boards, 5.7 assists. Drummond's averaged 20.7 points, 16 boards, 1.7 blocks, and they didn't even play the fourth quarter of that huge beatdown they had last time these guys met. The Pistons have outscored the Cavs by a combined 54 points for the first 3 games of the series. The Pistons are a healthy group. This makes me extremely uncomfortable in this game. Pepper says, absolutely do not trust the Pistons, especially off an emotional win yesterday against the Raps. I agree. I absolutely agree. But Enid Monet says, thumbs up to King Rail back in the Pistons. And yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about this game more. But right now, I'm not going to jump on it. Unbelievable says Cleveland first quarter and in-game the rest. Cleveland first quarter is an interesting idea, but I want Love in the lineup, but what if he's announced out? You'll get a much, much bigger spread here. Let's move on to Jazz at Wizards. The Jazz are a very appealing squad right now. It feels like they're rolling, but they were -5s a little while ago, and they're no longer -5s. I would have to buy down to -5. This opened at -4 yesterday afternoon, -4 late last night. It stayed -4 until 7:55 this morning when it became -4.5. Then that's a pinnacle. I don't like 5.5. I do agree that there's no way the Wizards can do anything in the paint. Although they're much improved in the paint, there's no way they're going to be able to do anything. Jazz coming off their third straight win, 114-98 at home over Brooklyn on Saturday night. This is still a tough team to trust on the road, just 500 on the road. Gobert, 23-17, Donovan Mitchell, 24, Favors, 13-12, Rubio, Jake Crowder each get 12. Nets shot only 34.7% for the game and only 38 points in the paint. Wow. Sherigan, my man Sherigan says Cavs cover. I would like to know if Kevin Love's going to be in the lineup if I was going to make that play. Says 7 is too much. I feel that. All right, Dante Exum, just like old times, out indefinitely with a right knee injury. Thabo Sefolosha, hamstring injury. He's barely playing. Wizards are looking to finish off this crucial 5-game homestand 4-1. Now, I was wrong about them on Friday. Hornets took care of business, but they bounced back from that game and with a 135-128 win over Memphis on Saturday. Beal goes for 40 again, second straight night. Listen, if the Wizards make the playoffs, you got to toss Beal in the MVP discussion. I mean, I know he's not going to win it. I know it's between Harden and then Antetokounmpo, but why not put him as the third guy there? If they make the playoffs. Beal goes 12 for 17 from the field, 9 3-pointers, 7 assists, 5 boards, 2 steals, just 1 turnover. Parker 20 and 11, Portis 18. Jordan McRae's not rolling, but Ray Hyder says, yep, you're right. Utah at 7 and 7 versus Eastern Conference. You got Moss says Jazz roll. King Rail says Sexton is not a point guard. He wouldn't be starting for any other team. Cavs have no choice but to play him. If you're telling me I have to trust Sexton and Chris to win or cover, I can't see it. I hear that. I absolutely hear that. Sonny Cruz says, I trust Jazz to cover. Listen, I trust Jazz to cover at 4 or even 4.5. Tomino says Utah's been much better at home the last month. Washington has no defense, though, and good spot for Utah. First game of a long road trip. I'd lean Utah. Aloha Eastside Rolla says Jazz definitely. Let's take a look at what we get here. It's 5.5. But at this point, it wouldn't be too bad of a juice to get the 5. Oh, no, it would still be. Damn. I just feel like I missed the spot here. I think the Jazz win, but do they cover? Red Girl says Utah full game under. Take a look at what that total is right now. Jazz, 228. That's up from a 225 opening line at BetOnline. I just can't trust the Wizards to ever play defense. Oh, shit. And DJ Big Boss's Low Bag LA event is this Friday at 6 p.m. Oh, man, I'll be sure to retweet that and keep you guys pumped. That makes me so happy, Big Boss, that you're getting everybody together. Shout out to my man, DJ Big Boss. A leader. My man, Big Boss, is a leader. Bleds W says Wizards not enough firepower to win. Aloha Eastside Rolla says, liking that Jazz Wiz under. I get it. Mally Mal liking the Gobert rebounds prop, sure. Enid Monet says Jazz probably safer to go up. Carlos Bro says Jazz will cover. Jazz, I think, will win. But, man. Von Polo says Wizards are on a 5-game homestand. I'm all over the Wizards money line first half and full game. Book it. Wow, Von Polo. Wow, big. Ski Profit going to be there on Friday. Shout out to my man Ski Profit, who's with us on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Nice to hear you're going to be joining him. You got Moss says Jazz by 25 or 30. Okiji says Jazz by 10. Wow. I'm not going to make a move on that. I just feel like I missed the spot. Should have jumped on them at 4.5 or 4 this morning. Wow. Adam Lassman says Jazz put up 125 alone. And you got Moss says 125, 100 Jazz win. Wow. Okay. Let's move on to me, the most exciting game of the night. Nuggets at Celtics. Celtics coming off a 129-120 win at home over the Hawks on Saturday night. Now, Horford left Saturday's game, banged his knee, but he was able to return. Gordon Hayward left in the first half with a strained neck, didn't return. Very important to watch what's going on in this Nuggets-Celtics spot, especially with the injuries for Boston. I mean, we want to know. You need to know. I expect Horford to be in the game, but that's a knee injury that can hurt after the adrenaline wears off, and then Gordon Hayward not being in the lineup. Let's jump out here, see what we're getting here in this Nuggets-Celtics game. We're getting Boston minus 3.5, and the total opened up at 222.5, and now at 221. And you got Moss says, I live in Salt Lake, though, Jimmy. I feel that, man. Daryl Lyle says, when's IFBC? That is a good question. I do not know at this point, but there will be something. There will be a get-together for sure. And there's a get-together Friday in LA, which is so dope. Mally Mal says Nuggets garbage. Travis Eaton says Celtics play of the day. Denver has dealt with a ton of injuries, and now they're healthy, but they're barely squeaking out wins against teams they should be beating handily. Coming off a 102-100 home win over the Pacers, Jokic gets ejected in the fourth. Denver now, though, has a 12-3 record in games decided by 3 or fewer points. Denver's often going to be the favorite, and unless they're a dog, that means they're not putting money in our pockets if you're playing the spread. Now they start a 4-game road trip through the Eastern Conference. Jokic is a beast. Don't get me wrong. He's a beast, and this is a great Nuggets team. But, man, I just don't know. Nuggets don't deserve being back. But I need to know that Horford is fine, and I need to know that if Hayward's going to be in the lineup. Pac-Man says bad blood last meeting. Kyrie will go off. I was wondering, does Kyrie really care about that Jamal Murray shot? I mean, he cared in the moment. But does he care now? I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know. Nuggets, Celtics, I'm not making a move here. At this point. Torino says Boston plays down the level of competition. They've been good at home against top teams. You're right. That is a great point, Torino. They have been good at home against top teams. But do you trust this team implicitly? I don't know if I do. Hello, Eastside Roller says liking Nuggets, waiting for those fours to come in. I mean, at that point, I think you should just take them on the money line. You know they're 12-3 in games within 3.5 points, and then you get that big score. Lucky Lefty says, what about the over-under? I mean, what about the pace in this game? Well, if we're judging pace with Horford expected to be in the lineup, then I like the under. I mean, Ski and I talk about it all the time. If you're going to back Boston to win, it's going to be probably a low-scoring game. Mickey Cohen says the total a better play. Okizi says, I don't see Denver sweeping the Celtics this season. Bleds W says Boston got Philly next. Could be a look-ahead spot. Mickey Cohen going over. So we're going to have more time to talk about this game on the late show, and I will be bringing in somebody, an NBA expert, to break it down with us. Mally Mal says Boston not looking ahead, and Vev the Real says, oh yeah, Kyrie cares. I'm not sure. Mally Mal says Boston is a play. I will have a play on this game. I just need more time with it. Pepper says -3.5, just too much delay with all these Denver games coming down to the wire. Thursday buzzer beater from Jokic just squeaking by Saturday. I agree. You got Moss says, I think my friend changed the Montana, Michigan plus 18 line on his 2020 bet. Line was plus 15.5 about 30 minutes later. Wow. That's wild, you got Moss. Interesting. Tomino says, more important game for Boston. They've been struggling. And Enid says, Boston going to start doing well leading into the playoffs. King Rail says, I took Celtics money line -165, laid the juice, and parlayed it with Golden State money line. That's interesting. All right. Let's keep rolling along. I'm not making a move on that. And King Rail says, I'll come on tonight, Jimmy. Okay, beautiful. Thank you, King. That's great news. Okay, we're going to have Rail on the late show tonight. That's great news. All right, Hay says, Boston money line, easy money. I don't know. Aloha Eastside Rose says, very true, Jimmy. That's a great take on the Nuggets game. Should take it if I like them that much. I agree. I definitely think with their record in close games, the way they're handling it late in games, that you should go for a score with this basketball team if you're going to take them. Let's move on to Knicks Raptors. Knicks are on the second half of a back-to-back after a 124-123 home win over the Lakers last night at MSG. Now, this is a tricky game. There's so many moving parts. What we have in the NBA today, we have a lot of back-to-backs, and these are two teams on back-to-backs. We also have teams on back-to-backs playing against rested teams. A lot of moving parts, and we got to manage that appropriately. Let's take a look at what this line is. Toronto -11.5 or -12. This total 213 or 214. And we know that Kawhi's not played both games of a back-to-back all year. And why would you do it here? You wouldn't. You just wouldn't do it. So I don't expect him to be in the lineup. So Hazonia blocks LeBron with 2.3 seconds left. They rally from 11-point deficit to break the hearts of the Lakers. Is this going to be a letdown spot for them? Are they going to be able to step up? Fizdale says Dennis Smith, Noah Vonleh are still day-to-day. Raptors lost 110-107 to Detroit last night. Thank God Van Fleet came back. Imagine how bad this team would be playing without Van Fleet. And I mean, I remember when Van Fleet first came, I'm just amazed how important this guy's become to our basketball team. Missed 12 games with a thumb injury, 17 points in his return. Let's get Jeremy Lin off the floor as much as possible. Pistons outscored the Raptors 32-23 in the fourth quarter. Toronto's now lost 4 of 7. Kyle Lowry out for the second straight game with a sprained ankle. He's questionable. So there's likely going to be no Kyle Lowry or Kawhi Leonard. And they're 11.5-point favorites? That's nuts. Molly Malsick, Serge is out too. This is the third game of his suspension. Pepper says, I'm from Toronto. Can't trust the Raptors right now. Lowry doubtful, Kawhi out. Ian Monet says Knicks getting blown out. I definitely don't see the same effort. But, I mean, are you going to back this Raptors? I mean... Very, very. You got Moss says Blackhawks -1.5 and +120. Such a lock, right? You know we don't. There's no such thing. And the Canucks, fading the Canucks has just not been a valuable thing to do. I mean, it was there for a little bit when both Tanev and Edler were out. Now Tanev's gone again. Second half back to back. I'm on the Blackhawks, but you know I think I'll hit more than 54. Line down from 12 to 11 says King Rail. Bled's liking Knicks first half +7. Matt Collins saying Knicks first quarter +4. Don't trust them full game. Look, I love that play, Matt. I think that's great. Taking the Knicks +4. Now, the thing about these Raptors, I'm just going to put a question mark on it right now. The thing about these Raptors is they step up. They step up when they're a deep team. Now, they're not nearly as deep with no DeLong Wright, but Mouse's line was projected at 13-5. Now it's 11. It says, give me the Knicks. Dan Kelly saying, quick set. Quick set is a lock. You're right. That is a lock. Good call, Dan. Dean Williams says, who's going to blow out the Knicks? The best Raps are all hurt. King Rail says, under in Knicks game, no points tonight. Slow pace game for Raps on back-to-back. Yeah, I like that look. Wow, look at that. Knicks money line tonight, says Steve Cordero. Ooh, that's a big balls. Ty Clinton says, under looks good, Raptors Knicks, King Rail. 214 and a half. I think that's a very interesting play that I'll leave as a lean right now. All right, we got to keep up the pace. We have Drew joining us in 9 minutes. Heat at Thunder. Take a quick look at what this spread is. Heat at Thunder. Oklahoma City opening at -3, now -5.5. Total opens at 213.5, now 211.5. And we know after that tech, there will be no Russell Westbrook in the lineup. Tomer says Lynn has played decently, not a good defender. Raptors just not sharp right now. He's playing better. He is playing better, but I don't know if he's got up to decent. Shout out to Underdog in the house. Love having him here. Clarence Sousa in the house as well. Looking nice. I love these guys. Okay. And Gate Pesky says the under makes sense for sure. Tormio says, I'm not betting this game. I lean Toronto first half. Yo-Yo says, Rats don't win. Think about it. Jeff Joseph said, Raptors more than not start slow. First quarter could be a play. It really could be. Really could be. Okay, let's keep rolling. Heat Thunder. So we know Westbrook. He's missed 8 games this year due to injury, and they're 5-3 without him. And I'd like them to step up. I really do after that disaster on Saturday night against the Warriors. They come into the game having lost 2 straight. Adams scored 9 points, and he tweaked his ankle midway through the third. He eventually returned the game, and, he's a tough guy, but I need him to be in the lineup. I need him to be in the lineup and feeling good about himself. Drew Daddy says, why don't we take the Heat here without Russ? Yeah. I just feel like it's a nice bounce-back game for the Thunder. Tomor says OKC should come out strong after embarrassing loss. I think the value is OKC first quarter. Tomor, I love that play. I think that's a really good-looking look. I'm not going to jump on it now, but I'm going to leave that here as a lean. I think that's a great look, Tomor. Man. R. says, is Durant playing? He's supposed to play. That's all we know right now. Poppy Longwood says Heat money line. That's another spot where I just wonder why this move has gone against the Heat so drastically here. That was not something that I expected to see. Let's see when the spread's been moving. Well, Pinnacle opened it at 5 and 5.5, so it's just Bet Online that opened it at 3. Part of the reason for the big move there. Miami's on the second half of a back-to-back. They held Charlotte to a season low in points, 93-75. They're not going to have, or they could be without Justice Winslow. Now, Dragic is getting his roll back, man. He's feeling good about himself. Pop him in the starting lineup. Let him go. Matt Randall says, damn ASU screwed up tank play of the day in OT Friday, called ISU to win Big 12 on the show in the opening round. Matt Randall, we trust your tank play of the day. We do. Miami's in 8th place. They've got a lot to fight for. This is the beginning of a critical 4-game road trip for the Heat. They play 9 of their final 13 away from home, and they've been good away from home all year. Enid says, on the road, I didn't know I expect a Miami letdown. I expect a Miami letdown and the Thunder bounce back. Is that enough, though? I really like Tomor's look. Thunder first quarter. I really like it. I like it. I think they play well early here. I think this is a nice look, Tomor. I think they bounce back. But wait, you know what? I'm going to wait. I need Steven Adams to be good to go. So I'm going to wait. But I really like that look, Tomor. Thank you for sharing it. Okay, let's move on to a play I already made. Warriors, Spurs, under. I was concerned that this move was going to go against me, and I hate seeing Raulport Wando on the over. Let's see if this has gone against me. Oh, it sure has. Just a huge, huge move to the over. As soon as I make the bet, a huge move to the over. Wow. A huge move to the over in the Warriors-Spurs game. Oh, God, that's awful. Oh, God. That hurts, man. Ugh. Spurs coming off an impressive 108-103 home victory over Portland on Saturday. I mean, I just thought that they don't want to get in the shooting contest. They're going to slow the game down. DeRozan, 21 points, led 7 Spurs, double figures. Oh, man. Shout out to Ricky Levine in the house. Ricky, yes, we've been going through this for the last week. It's been very difficult on the show. right now, not having Pete coming back and just being very, very tough, man. Very, very difficult. So that's what's happened, Ricky, and I can't really get into more detail right now. We got Drew Martin joining us in 5 minutes, and I got to keep rolling. Matt Collins says Durant will not be off. He's Kevin Durant. Okizi says I like Spurs in the under, but King Rail says Spurs get smashed tonight. DeRozan is rolling. This team is rolling. They've won 8 straight. Rudy Gay, Derek White. Derek White's such a key piece, man. How good would this Spurs team if we got to see DeJuan Murray be playing? God, I love that guy and can't wait to see him back next year. Aldridge, Patty Mills go for 12 apiece. Forbes, Bellinelli go for 11 apiece. I mean, if you're getting 7 guys in double figures, you're going to win games. You're going to win games. San Antonio leads the league in scoring defense during their winning streak, allowing 99.8 points per game. Spurs are a healthy group. Warriors are coming off a dominant 110-88 road win at OKC. I watched that entire game. It was just wonderful to watch if you're a Warriors fan. They were just awesome. Steph was spectacular. My goodness. Warriors limited Oklahoma State to 18 assists, 16 turnovers. They forced 16 turnovers. Durant missed his second straight game, and DeMarcus Cousins, right ankle, questionable for Monday's game. He's scheduled for an MRI, and Cousins played really well, too. He was playing tough down low, and I was impressed. My man Sherigan says Golden State Warriors under. You know what happens to me is when the market moves this drastically against me, it's generally bad news. Gate Pass keep backing King Rail here on this spot with the Warriors. No Lower East Side Rollers is all I have to say is San Antonio at home. Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to see what's going on with this injury report, and then we can make a decision around that. And shout out to my man Ann Americ again, who was just absolutely deadly. He almost went perfect in his big UFC fight card on Saturday. Shout out to our man Ann Americ. What a huge asset to the Lowbag family. All right, let's keep rolling along. Pistons, Mavericks here. Mavericks coming off 121-116 win at home over the Cavs on Saturday night. Doncic not in the lineup due to a sore right knee. He will be back in the lineup here. Pelicans coming off their 6th straight loss, 138-136 at Phoenix on Saturday night. It was just a disaster. Unbelievable. I mean, watching Gentry call that timeout was just, come on. Is there one person we're supposed to trust? It's the man in a suit with the clipboard coaching the team. Jesus, what an ass. They led by 3 points, had possession with 7.7 seconds left, and just incomprehensible blunders. Drew Holiday out of the lineup still. Etwan Moore out of the lineup still. Raven in the desert like he mostly unders tonight. Pelicans, Mavericks. You know, I do know that it's going to be an interesting night in Dallas because Dirk Diggler is going to pass. Who's he passing again? He's going to be 6th in the NBA in all-time scoring, and that's going to be a big deal. Mavericks have been playing well at home, and the Pelicans are just probably a fade team. Doncic will be back. Low East Side Roller says liking Mavericks. You know, I have a lean towards these Mavericks. I'm not going to take them right now. Shout out to Alex Ramirez in the house. I have a lean towards these Mavericks, but I'm going to wait. Make sure that Doncic is good to go. Then we have Bulls, Suns, and Pacers, Blazers, and then we'll get Drew Martin to pop up on this show. Suns looked like they were going to be losing against New Orleans, and they got lucky. Gentry messed up badly, and they got lucky. Now Suns are 6-4 in their past 10. That's coming off that 17-game losing streak. Booker's streak of 12 straight 20-point outings went for 40 and 13. Oubre is rolling, went for a career-best 32. I mean, I like the Suns here at home. I mean, if we're talking about this Bulls team, they're playing poorly. So even a Suns team without Tyler Johnson, he's questionable with a knee injury, without TJ Warren, without Rashawn Holmes, who's a right quad strain, he's questionable. The Bulls look awful right now. Markkanen's doing nothing. Markkanen put up 11 points in that disaster against Sacramento. They lose 129-102. They're just playing bad basketball. Sonny Cruz says, I like Pels low-key. I feel that. Matt Collins says, if no Luka, could be a play. You know, I feel that. Shout out to my man R2D2 in the house. Ray Williams says, I like the Pels too. Moneyline. Ray, you got to get up with the boys on Friday night when they all hook up in L.A. Torino says, I think the Bulls might rest Levine here on the back-to-back. Bulls off a tough loss. I lean Phoenix. You know, I agree. I agree that's a definite possibility. And why would they bother? Why they don't want to win this game. Why would they bother? They win this. Yeah, I'm in complete agreement here. I think the Suns are the play. Sorry, that's the bracket that keeps popping up. Let's see what we get on the Suns here at home. I know they're not a team you want to back, but they're feeling good about themselves. And at -2.5, you know what? I'm going to take them. If they announce Levine's not in the lineup, all of a sudden it's going to be up to 4 or 4.5. The Suns feel good about themselves. I'm going to back them here at -2.5. So we have this team here in the Suns that feels good about themselves, 1-6 of 10 against a Bulls team that's just not playing well. Elias Flores says Suns play of the day. Steve Cordero says Bulls taking from here on out. We'll know as soon as they rest Levine. I think this is a great spot. Great call. Tom Marino's on his game today. I'm going to jump on the Suns full game here, -2.5. I'm getting a plus line here. A plus line here at Pinnacle. -2.5 at +102. I'll take it. Suns -2.5 at +102. Let's go. And then finally, Pacers, Blazers. Blazers now going to have no CJ McCollum, which is devastating this team. Now, they're a very good basketball team, so devastating maybe he's the wrong word. MRI showed that he's got a strained left knee. He'll be reevaluated in a week. Hopefully, he'll get a game in before the playoffs. Stotts says that it's going to be Hood or Seth Curry. Even Evan Turner is going to see some time. What a bum Evan Turner is defensively. Indiana hasn't won in Portland since 2007. I think Portland is a very good basketball team that can come together in this spot. Now, -4 points for Portland at home. I say we take them. Mally Mouse says fade Portland. King Rail says if Suns win, they will be tied for bottom 3 with the Bulls. Not by my numbers, unless I've got something wrong here. King, I've got the Suns at 17-54 and the Bulls at 19-52. So they'd end up at 18-54. Bulls would be 19-53. So they'd still be okay. But I hear that. All you have to do is be in that bottom 3 to get that the same 14% chance at the number 1 overall pick. So Okeezy says Portland -4 play today. Bled's W says money line. And Mally Mouse says Pacers win tonight. Rayhan says Portland. You know, I think the Blazers are the play here. I think they step up, but I'd love to hear what King Rail has to say about it, as this is his basketball team. I think so. Enid says McCollum, big part of the streaky offense, but I think they step up here. Gate Pass Key says teams usually tank on the road. No need to keep season ticket holders happy, or need to keep season ticket happy. Suns -2.5 sounds good. I agree. A low Eastside Ruler says do my ass. I agree. You know, I like the Blazers here. I think they step up. Alex Ramirez says Portland, Jimmy. I think that they step up here with all the, and they're not going to step up necessarily long term. And Pacers looked really good in that road game that they barely lost against Denver. I like him here. Tomino says Portland should be fine without McCollum against a bad road team like Indiana. I think they will miss him long term. Portland and an under. Elias, I think that's a very interesting move on your under here. And it's moving towards the under. I agree. I like your under. I like both those plays. I'm jumping on both those plays. I like where Elias is on. Will Cap for the late show. Thomas, I think the value is with Portland here, but Portland's offensive efficiency from top 5 to bottom 5 with McCollum off the court. I like it. I'm going to jump on both these plays. I'm going to jump on the Blazers. I'm going to double up on this game here. I'm going to take the Blazers. I'm getting -4 at -105. That's available at Heritage. -4 at -105 at Heritage. And I'm also going to jump on the under here. Sorry, quickly, and then we'll get to our man, Drew Martin, to break down all these matchups for March Madness. It's so exciting. Okay, under, quickly, my last spot on this card, and then we move on to NCAA. Under, I see 212.5. Is there a 213 available? There is at Pinnacle. I'm going to take under 213 at -108. That is under 213, -108. Book it, bank it. Beautiful. Great job, Elias Flores. Thank you for the insights. And Tomer, I've got a lot of leans that we're going to break down with my man King Rail on the late show. All right, that's beautiful. Without further ado, and Pepper says Portland bigs are better than Indiana bigs too. And I like it. I think this is great. I think this is a nice looking card. So I'll go over my card, my final card there after we break down some of these spots with my man Drew Martin. And I can't wait. Everybody, I'm ready to take some notes. Drew Martin in the house. Let me get this bracket up here right now. Drew, it is time. It is your time, my friend. March Madness is actually here. Now, I know we've been calling it March Madness all month, but tournament time is here. You got to be pumped. How you feeling, Drew?
Jimmy, I'm doing good, man. Always nice to be on the Low Bag Show with you. It's the day after Selection Sunday, the day after St. Patty's Day. So hopefully everybody's wide-eyed and ready to go this Monday. But man, I'll tell you, Thursday and Friday, just these 2 days are my favorite days, I think, of the whole year. To be a sports bettor and just straight from 12 noon Eastern time until you go to bed, it's just nonstop madness, March Madness to a T. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited to break it down with you. It's just looking at this tournament, looking at this bracket. Sometimes I just find myself just like amazed just looking at it and then trying to break down the numbers. So it's a great time to be alive, man. Great time to be a sports bettor. And what's up to everybody in the chat box? All the low baggers doing well, I hope. So thanks for having me on, Jimmy.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And hearing you say it's a great time to be alive, it's a great time to be a sports bettor. It's really, really nice to hear, Drew. And you're absolutely right. I love that positivity. And, we've been going through some tough times here on the show the last little while. And it's just beautiful to have you on the show and just to hear your happiness around gambling and all that together. Let's get to work. What bracket interests you the most? What bracket do you want to start talking about? I got it in front of me.
It's as far as I guess like the regions, if that's what you mean, I would say the West is very interesting, and I've heard, I saw probably only about 30 minutes of like mainstream media and hearing, talking heads talk about it, and one guy was saying the West is the most competitive, is like the best maybe, and I kind of disagree. I think the West is, as far as the 1 and 2 seeds go, I think they have the weakest 1 seed and the weakest 2 seed in terms of the Michigan Wolverines sitting at the number 2 there. I think the West is absolutely wide open, Jimmy. If you're looking for, a 3, a 4, a 5 seed to kind of make a Final Four run here, I could see Florida State being that team. I could see Texas Tech being that team. So I think the West is absolutely wide open.
Wow, that's very, very interesting. Very interesting. So you don't have faith in this Zaga Bulldog team?
I mean, to have faith, sure. They're a 1 seed and in a lot of terms deserving of it. But when you look at their path, I mean, yeah, the 116, but then the Syracuse Baylor matchup. I think Baylor is a high ceiling team, a dangerous team, and then Syracuse, of course, coming from the ACC, battle tested. I mean, heck, they beat Duke, so could they beat Gonzaga? I wouldn't count them out. I'm not necessarily not picking Gonzaga, and then past that, Marquette and Florida State. We saw this long, lanky, strong defense from Florida State. I think that they the Zags could have problems in round 2 and then round 3 as well. And then having to go past that, the Texas Tech team, I think actually makes it out from the bottom half of the West, and that's a Texas Tech team that can definitely be the Final Four representative from the West. So yeah, I think Gonzaga has a tough road to make the Final Four.
Wow, yeah, Joey Jackson, Gonzaga going home early, Jimmy. I mean, you guys know I'm from the Pacific Northwest, so I always got my eye on these Zags. Wow, this is very interesting. I love that breakdown. I love it. I find it very, very appealing. So if Buffalo faces Texas Tech in that second round, you like Texas Tech to take care of business?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I haven't finalized a bracket of any sorts that I want to put my name behind, but I'm pretty sure, Jimmy, I will have Texas Tech coming out of the West. So yeah, I like them coming all the way through, beating Buffalo, going on to beat the Michigan out of the bottom half, and then beating Gonzaga to be the Final Four in the West. That's likely how I'll have it.
Wow, this is so exciting. Thank you for joining us, man. Okay, let's talk East then, and then we'll move over to the South and Midwest. Let's talk East. So we have Duke up at number 1, Michigan State up at number 2, and then LSU, a very dangerous squad at 3. What are your feels here in this East region?
I would probably say as far as the top half goes, the top teams, this is the strongest. You got Duke at 1, Michigan State at 2. I would say those, maybe Kentucky might be the strongest 2, but I think Michigan State's up there as far as possibly being the strongest 2. Duke, I think you could make the argument as the strongest 1 as well. And then the mid-level teams, I think Maryland might be up against it a little bit, as that 6 seed. They got Belmont, Temple going at it in Dayton, 2 nights rest. So, we see it almost every year as far as that play-in team. It seems like one of them always upsets that 6 seed in that round one. So I might look out there betting the Terps. And the Terps have been a team I bet and have lost on them down the stretch. And also in this little sub-region here, we got Maryland, the play-in game with Temple, Belmont, LSU, and Yale. I could see any 5 of those teams make it out of that little sub bracket there, just because Yale, they have the top level player going against LSU with coaching issues, but yet LSU seems to be the most talented team. They could be out round one. I could see that little subsector. If you're looking to go kind of a 11 seed and a 14 seed, that might be the area to do it, just because there's so many question marks in the higher seed there. Outside of that, Mississippi State, Liberty. It seems like Liberty in a 12-5 seems to be kind of a trendy pick there. I don't know, though. I'm not really looking to go against the SEC teams. I think that they were really strong. Same thing with the ACC. I would kind of pump the brakes on that pick. I think Mississippi State's a strong team. Outside of that, man, yeah, that VCU UCF game in the 8-9, that's going to be a heck of a game, to go there and face Duke. I mean, it's a heck of a congratulations prize to go face the number one team in round 2. But that VCU UCF game will be a fun one to watch.
Absolutely. Some great stuff here from the chat, too. Kobe Valentine saying, I think Yale has a chance to beat LSU with no head coach. Drew Daddy saying LSU going home early. Tom Marino saying Maryland is young and dumb. Temple will be a tough matchup if they have to play them. What about, have you guys on your show broken down the Belmont Temple matchup or the FDU Prairie View matchup?
No, we have not. We just had one 30-minute show today, and it was kind of like overall view, and actually broke down each game in clips. We're going to break them all down. So was actually asked not to break games down too much in terms of just the shows, because we are doing clips, Max and I. So and we all know how much Max knows about all of these teams, really, but especially the small ones. So he'll be a fun guy to watch in the coming days.
Wow, yeah, this is just going to be so much fun. Okay, let's move on to the South. I believe it was Kobe saying that he thought Virginia had the easiest route to the Final Four. Is that something that you agree with?
Yeah, and definitely the easiest route to the Sweet 16. I mean, Gardner Webb, and it seems like, people remember Virginia going down, but UMBC shot lights out last year. I don't see that happening again. They should take care of Gardner Webb easily. I actually like them minus the points. And then Ole Miss and Oklahoma, I mean, both teams with definite flaws that Virginia should take advantage of in the round 2 matchup, whoever comes out of that 8-9. And then when you go down, I mean, Wisconsin, Kansas State, UC Irvine, Kansas State, watch out. D Wade, how healthy is he? What's his deal with the Kansas State team? I think Kansas State could make a run, but they could also be a team that goes out, one and done style to this Anteaters team, the UC Irvine team that's likely the best college basketball team in the state of California. In Wisconsin, Oregon, Oregon sneaks in, not really a team all that deserving of it. The Pac-12 getting 3 teams in, I think that was a stretch by the committee. So, and Wisconsin isn't a team with Ethan Happ and all their free throw issues. It's not a team I look. So I could see Virginia. Yeah, outside of in Tennessee, we just saw it yesterday. They lost by 20 points. So Purdue is a good team from the Big Ten, but still, yeah, I would agree with that. That sentiment is Virginia has the easiest path to the Final Four at almost any team in the country.
Yeah, it certainly does look like the easiest route, without a doubt. Interesting, so interesting. Okay, well, let's move on to the Midwest, and there are people who have some questions that I will hit you with after we kind of do a nice little overlook here, and we get to the Midwest. North Carolina, a tough veteran squad that's going to be very, very tough to beat. And do they roll right through here? What do you think? And Auburn's so dangerous because, like you said all year about how if they get hot from outside, it's over. And they just proved that against Tennessee this weekend. Interesting spot. What are your first looks on this Midwest region?
Yeah, Midwest is a strong it's definitely a strong region. North Carolina and Kentucky at the 1 and 2. I think that's a solid, and also Houston getting a 3 seed there. That Houston team is solid, as I know a lot of the low baggers know. And Iowa State's getting hot as well. Don't forget about their Big 12 run. They're sitting there at the 6 seed. I think they got a nice path going against Ohio State, which I would look to be on the Cyclones there round 1. But overall view, yeah, you bring up Auburn in the 5 slot. First of all, this, granted, I'll admit I'm an Auburn fan, but they didn't get any help from this selection committee. A 5 seed against New Mexico State. That's a pretty good New Mexico State Aggies team. Blew out a lot of their in-conference competition. So I don't think Auburn got any favors winning the SEC. I don't believe that they were very much rewarded for that. And you brought up the fact they live and die by the 3. This is a volatile team. This Auburn team, if they stay hot, is going to be very, very tough to beat, as we saw in that SEC tournament. If they're able to keep shooting and playing defense up and down the court like they've been, they're going to be a tough out. But also, if their shots aren't falling, keep in mind it's in a neutral site. I don't believe Auburn has played in this venue before. So going against the New Mexico State team that has high upside, they could also be one and done. I'd be kind of pumping the brakes on going too big on betting Auburn in any one game, especially going up against Kansas. I kind of like their route in round 2, and then they'll have to go to UNC or play against the number 1 seed UNC. So that will be an interesting go of it. And in the bottom subsector, that Wofford Seton Hall game, that's very fascinating, man. I don't know. That 7-10 matchup, that seems like a fun one to watch. And then that Houston team, I like Houston a lot. So I could see them causing some problems and possibly even beating Kentucky as the tournament goes on. But Midwest, a lot of different factors. You know, UNC, it's tough to go against them. So that's likely who I'll have as far as chalk coming out of the Midwest.
My man Brett says, I got Iowa State to win it all. Says they have the best starting 5, in my opinion. Just completely underperforming this season. Seems like they're getting it together at the right time. And then Kobe said something very interesting that I've lost now. But, God, where was it? But again, backing Iowa State, thinking that they're going to be a very, very tough team here. And, yeah, I mean, it seems like Midwest is the, region of death, if there was one. We have some questions here. We just have a few more minutes. But King Rail says, what about my Wolfpack? Who would have thought that we'd be sitting here with a number 7 ranked Nevada Wolfpack team in the West? I mean, that just blows my mind. You think that they have any chance of getting through Florida than Michigan?
I mean, they definitely got a chance. They're 2-point favorites. So against Florida, they seem to be, at least in the odds makers' view, the team to advance. I'd probably pump the brakes. They don't have a true point guard, which I'm always kind of scared to bet those teams, especially laying points. Against the Florida team, look good in the tournament, in the SEC tournament. Their loss came, they covered to Auburn, a hot Auburn team who eventually went on to win the SEC. This Florida team is going to play good defense, so I'm not necessarily running to the window to bet Nevada. And then after that, they would have Michigan if the number 2 seed Michigan is able to advance. That's a good Michigan team, going to play great defense. So let's just say they do make it through Florida. They got another good defense in Michigan. So back-to-back, top efficiency defenses coming out of the SEC and Big Ten conferences. So they're battle tested. And then if they were able to make it through there and chalk proceeds, they'd have Texas Tech behind that. So that's 3 really top defenses. I wouldn't look for, let's just say it this way, I'm not running to put Nevada into the Elite 8 by any means, Jimmy.
Wow, back and forth on this Nevada-Florida game, which may be the most exciting of this opening round. It's so exciting. Kobe's saying Florida will win and then beat Michigan, which is wild. Arthur Meade Jr. says Wolfpack will have a tough time against Florida. Wow, but then hail to the victors. Gators beat Nevada. Christopher Hogan, Florida, the Sweet 16. You think that, okay, I know this is very difficult. We've got to shut this down. I know I could ask you questions about this for hours and hours. But of the double-digit teams in this tourney, who do you like the best to possibly, and I know they're long shots with double digits, but who do you like to best to possibly make some noise in this tourney?
That's a great question, and if you're making me answer, what double-digit seed will make the Sweet 16, I would likely go with Florida. And if you're even looking for like not just a 10 or an 11 seed and looking to go even deeper as far as a team I think could make a run, and you look at that little subsector like we talked in the South, Wisconsin, Oregon, and then after that Kansas State, UC Irvine. That's a number 13 seed UC Irvine Anteaters. If they're able to get back past Kansas State, that Wisconsin-Oregon matchup doesn't really scare me. I think UC Irvine, if you're looking for a long shot, obviously I wouldn't pick them chalk-wise, but if you're looking to get some plus value there, I think that UC Irvine team might be worth a look. So I'd go Florida at the 10 seed and looking for a long shot, UC Irvine, Jimmy.
Oh, I love both those looks. Love them. Torino says Oregon could make a deep run. That would be so fun. The UC Irvine matchup with Oregon and see Kansas State and Wisconsin out immediately. Drew, what a treat it is to roll with you guys, and what incredible insights from this chat, man. I love hearing what their angles are too. What a fun week this is going to be. What a jam-packed week it's going to be for you. Thank you so much for taking the time to still work with us on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday mornings. And I was begging you last week, can we have you Friday morning as well? That would be just so helpful for us. Is that possible, Drew?
Yeah, sure, Jimmy. I love coming on the show, man. It's always fun time, and I'll tell you, the chat box. You do it, Jimmy, but the chat box in your show is just awesome, man. Just guys going back and forth, and the marketing for play of the day. We actually, I've been talking about it on Max's and I's show about guys come up with it, and sure enough, Jorge Don't Play comes out with the barbecue scandal play of the day, sitting at 1-0. So want to give him love as well. And but yeah, join Max and I in the chat box. We're on at 9:30 a.m. Eastern and 4:00 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday through Friday this week. Normally Monday through Friday. This afternoon it's a no-go, but 9:30 a.m. and 4:00 Eastern time. Max and I doing SBR Madness, all college basketball betting.
Beautiful. And you can catch Drew at Drew Martin Bets. What a great guy. Thank you guys so much for joining us on the Low Bag Show today. It means so much to me. We have a big afternoon of study, and then we have a really nice small card that we're going to be able to hammer. Just 4 NHL games, 9 NBA games, and we're going to hammer it. King Rail's also going to join us on the Late Show. So let's quickly go over. I am going to take the under 6.5 and Coyotes Lightning as soon as Kemper's announced to start back-to-back games. Until then, I'm not. I'm only on Blackhawks -1.5 at +125, and I'm on the Sharks -1.5 at +155. And then in NBA, I do have a few plays to get this day rolling, and I'm going to be making a bunch. A lot of these are great leans. I loved what the chat was on today. A couple first quarter plays are very appealing, but right now I'm on the under 224, which has gone way against me in Warriors Spurs. Very, very uncomfortable with that spot. And then I'm on the Suns -2.5 at +102, and then I doubled up Blazers -4, -105, and the under 213 at -108. Those are my plays so far. We're going to add some through afternoon study. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Let's have a big start to our big March Madness week, NCAA tournament week. But most importantly, Leche, Alo's Bookmakers!